In the year 2000, I went to Disneyland for the first time with my brand new passport with my friends. The very first thing I wanted to go on was my all-time favorite ride, the Haunted Mansion. I loved the ride so much, I did the research on the ride to figure out the secrets and techniques they used for the effects. I also memorized the song so that I could sing along throughout the whole ride. So I finally got to the Haunted Mansion and I got in line. So far everything was the same, and always except for one thing. I got to the pet cemetery part of the ride, and they took out the frog's tombstone and replaced it with another tombstone that said Seth, forever here. This kind of bothered me. It seemed out of place and wasn't one of those family-friendly puns that Disney always seems to make. But I ignored it, thinking this was just a new part of the ride. Eventually, I finally get inside the mansion. So far, nothing else is out of the ordinary. The waiting room is just still, the waiting room. The ghost host still says the same line as he always does. Then I go to the stretching room part of the ride, and it all seems normal until the part where the room gets dark. You see the skeleton hanging himself as usual, but then the lights go out, and then I saw a ball of light hovering around the ceiling. I knew this wasn't normal because at this point of the ride, the room should be pitch black. Then just before the lights turned back on, a ball of light morphed itself into a shape of a skull and disappeared with the lights turned back on. This wasn't normal at all. As we walked outside the room and into the hall of transforming portraits, I asked my friends about the light, and none of them seemed to see it. At this point, I thought I was imagining things. We all got onto the ride, and nothing seemed out of the ordinary until the ballroom scene with all the holographic ghosts. I smiled and enjoyed the happy ghosts dancing and celebrating the lady's birthday. But something wasn't right about the scene either. I looked up and saw the most horrifying thing I've ever seen in my life. The glass that you see the ghost's animatronics reflection off of was broken, and there was a dead body on the floor by the dining table. My friends and I freaked out, and all the other passengers started to scream. The ride stopped and the lights turned on, and the announcement over the loudspeakers said, "Disneyland thanks you for your visit. Please evacuate the attraction in an orderly fashion. A cast member will be with you shortly to assist you with the evacuation. Thank you." As we were evacuating the ride, we had to walk all the way out to the place where you exit the doom buggies and then get off the ride. At the ride's exit, we heard what sounded like a crying child, even though there was no children around. I saw a bunch of ambulances outside the Haunted Mansion ride, along with the police officers standing outside the ride. I walked up to one of the police officers and found out that the victim's name on the table, his name was Seth.